I'm Susan Kennedy. Welcome to Neighborhood Niches, and welcome to Wheaton. This city is just miles from the nation's capital. It's centered right on three major thoroughfares and also along the Metro's Red Line. Wheaton is in the midst of a major revitalization that is certain to make it an ideal location for businesses, residents, and visitors. The town of Wheaton got its name from General Frank Wheaton, who served in the Army before, during, and after the Civil War. Wheaton developed as a small business community near the junction of three major roads: Brookville Pike, now known as Georgia Avenue, Old Bladensburg Road, which today is University Boulevard, and Veers Mill Road. Today, Wheaton features a number of well-known attractions, and probably one of the most famous is Chuck Levin's House of Music. Some of the music industry's biggest names are regular customers of this iconic store. We'll pay a visit to this unique Wheaton niche a little later, but first, let's learn about the Wheaton community. There are close to 50,000 people who live in Wheaton, making it the seventh largest city in Montgomery County. The median age of a Wheaton resident is 35. The average income for a Wheaton resident is $81,368. Purchasing a home will average you around $341,000, and 45% of the population in Wheaton was not born in the United States. Wheaton is conveniently located along the Metro's Red Line. The escalator in the station is the longest in the Western Hemisphere and the third longest in the world. It's 230 feet in length and takes close to 3 minutes to ride from one end to the other. Much of Wheaton was developed in the 1950s. In the 1960s, Wheaton Plaza, now known as Westfield Wheaton, was the largest mall of its kind in the Maryland suburbs of Washington, D.C.
It's a whole new shopping scene, Wheaton Plaza.
Today, that shopping center is still a popular destination for residents and visitors. Adjacent to the mall is the widely known Wheaton Triangle. A major transformation is in store for this core niche. Starting later in 2016, work will begin on a new town center with an amphitheater, county office building, and mixed-income housing. Luisa Montero Diaz is the director of the Mid-County Services Center. It's her job to make sure everyone is in the loop on this ambitious revitalization.
In doing so, I have a lot of contact with community members. I actually staff two advisory boards that are made up of residents, but one of Mid-County and the other of the Wheaton Urban District. And those are the conduit for a lot of the issues that might be emerging in the community that perhaps the county needs to pay attention to.
What we've said all along is, at every stage of this process, we want to maintain Wheaton's character. What we're doing is just enhancing the experience. And so I'm very excited about everything that's happening, about the revitalization that's going to occur there in Lot 13 between, Reedy Drive as well as Georgia Avenue and Veers Mill. Also, of course, the library, recreation center, the high school is ready. I mean, there's so many great things happening.
The Wheaton Triangle draws customers and workers from throughout the county and serves locals with a core of small stores, businesses, and restaurants.
The Wheaton Triangle is really sort of like the heart of Wheaton. I think it's so representative of all the extraordinary small businesses, very unique opportunities and retail opportunities. And some, particular businesses have been there for such a long time. They're part of the fabric of what makes Wheaton wonderful.
Originally known as Marchone's, this deli has been carefully preserved since it opened in 1955.
Been almost 61 years in August.
Filippo Leo took over the business in 2012 after Frank Marchone died. He and Marchone were partners for 27 years. This Wheaton institution is famous for its cold-cut subs. And when you step inside, you are tempted by the smells of salami, tomatoes, and garlic.
We've been very successful serving the community of Wheaton, and we still are here. I got a wonderful people. They've been support us through the years, and our customer, they're pretty loyal, and I'm pretty sure through construction they will still support us.
Our next niche in the neighborhood of Wheaton has been described as one of the jewels in the crown of Montgomery County. Brookside is an award-winning 50-acre public garden situated within Wheaton Regional Park. The gardens include a wide variety of features, including an azalea garden, nature center, and butterfly display. Close to 500,000 people visit Brookside on an annual basis.
It's a quiet place. It's a place where people can sit and just enjoy the view. They can come and learn what they want to learn about the plants. We have a lot of various plants here, but there's also a lot of annuals and perennials and trees and shrubs and grasses and all kinds of things that might interest people who are interested in doing this in their own yard at home. And the biggest thing that I think is most important about Brookside Gardens, other than just the beauty of the place, is that it's free.
Right in the heart of downtown Wheaton on Veers Mill Road is our next niche. Chuck Levin's House of Music is a legend in the music industry. Selling more instruments on an annual basis than any other store of its kind in the United States.
We're a stop. People from all over the world and all over the country, they want to, if they're a musician, they want to come to Chuck's.
Chuck Levin's came to Wheaton in 1968 after a fire destroyed their store on 8th Street in the district.
That's kind of what was left from the fire on 8th Street.
This local institution was started by Abby's parents, Chuck and Marge Levin.
Thank you.
And today, she and her brother Alan and nephew Adam run the business.
Why here in the beginning was born out of opportunity. But I think that what kept us here is that Wheaton is a melting pot, and the community has been very supportive of the business since the beginning.
There have been a lot of big names that have walked through the doors of Chuck's.
We treat all of our customers like superstars. I think what the musicians that are better known like about coming here is they can come here and just be a musician. Stevie Wonder will sit in the back in the keyboard room and play, and nobody bothers him. And customers can come in and just try out different equipment. They might get a couple of looks, but nobody bothers them. They're a musician when they walk in the door, just like all of our customers.
There are many who see Wheaton as one of Montgomery County's best kept secrets because of its ethnic mix, mom and pop shops, and small town feel. And because of efforts to bring about a renaissance of Wheaton, that secret is starting to get out.
It's the best of both worlds, you know, a good thing for the community that's here and a good thing for those folks that we want to attract to Wheaton to come here to visit us.
When we come back, we'll visit a neighborhood that's close to the big city, but has a small town feel. Welcome back to Neighborhood Niches. As you can see, I'm standing in front of the Somerset Town Hall. This little community is nestled between Bethesda and Chevy Chase. There are just over 400 homes, and it encompasses only a quarter square mile. The town of Somerset dates back to 1890, when 5 Department of Agriculture scientists purchased 50 acres of farmland to set up a residential community. 5 original streets were established in the town and still remain today: Dorset, Warwick, Surrey, Cumberland, and Essex, all named after English counties. We'll see more of this genteel little town in just a bit, but first, let's learn more about the character of Somerset. There are about 1,200 people who live in Somerset. The median age for a Somerset resident is 45. An average household in Somerset consists of 3 people, and the median income for the town is just over $144,000. The town is home to Somerset Elementary School and is served by Westland Middle and Bethesda Chevy Chase High School.
The next item is the town.
Somerset is an incorporated town that handles its own services. There is a mayor and 5 council members who are elected every 4 years. Jeffrey Slavin has been mayor since 2008. He calls Somerset an oasis.
We protect our trees. We maintain a beautiful streetscape. We also have been spent the last 4 or 5 decades keeping development at a minimum in the area.
Slavin moved to Somerset from Friendship Heights more than 15 years ago because, he says, he liked the small town feel of the community, but he could still easily get to the Metro and the Beltway. He says it's a neighborhood where folks know one another by name.
They're just well connected, and different neighborhoods in the town have gatherings. People get together and everybody knows each other.
Marnie Shaw has served on the Somerset Town Council for more than 10 years.
The people who live here, I think, are extremely bright and very engaged in life in general. They're busy people with families, but they also have an interest in making sure that the place that they live is a very special place.
Somerset Elementary opened its doors to 138 students in 1928. Catherine Bricker served as principal of the school from the time it opened until her retirement in 1965. She described the school building as hideous, with just one clock and one telephone in the hall. The bell was rung by hand in the principal's office, and the child who had that job felt very important. Today, there are close to 600 students at the school, which was rebuilt and reopened in 2005. Somerset celebrated its 100th anniversary just 10 years ago, and to mark that milestone, a book was published highlighting the history of the town. Donna Harmon contributed to the publication. She is a member of one of the many Somerset families who have lived in the town for generations. Tell me a little bit about what was the most interesting thing, first and foremost, off the bat, that you found out when you were putting this book together.
I think the character of the early people, the fact that it was done by scientists, and also the second thing was the development of the new part of Somerset down there. That all was auctioned off right after World War II, 1946. And builders came in and bought tracts of land. So we actually had two separate Somersets at that point. And a lot of the people that moved there are now in their 90s and they still live here.
And when you travel the leafy streets of Somerset, you understand why. The homes are surrounded by a canopy of trees that are maintained by a town arborist, and the town council requires homeowners to present plans for teardowns and other renovations before making any major changes. Before making any major change to a house, the owners must get the approval from their neighbors. Though the town of Somerset manages itself, it does have a good working relationship with the county council. Roger Berliner is the council's representative to Somerset. He says Somerset emulates the meaning of community.
They're active, they're engaged, and they take care of one another.
There are several events sponsored by the town, including Bike Day.
And happy riding, happy safe riding.
We stopped by and talked to homegrown resident and councilman Dudley Folks, the man behind the scenes of this event.
I worked at a farmer's market a couple years ago down at Glover Park, and we do a bike clinic where we just have people come by and just say, look at my bike, is there anything wrong with it? And we do the best we can just to kind of fix it up for nothing.
And we found plenty of folks at Bike Day who use that mode of transportation on a daily basis and were more than happy to sing the praises of their charming community.
One of the great things, if you are a biker, is you're right next to the Capitol Crescent Trail.
Neighbors know each other, they look after each other, kids are able to play in a safe environment.
But probably the most beloved niche in the town of Somerset is the pool. Almost everyone we spoke to said it's a favorite gathering place for residents of all generations.
The pool is a huge social center in the summertime, particularly for the kids. So the teenagers are down there, they have picnics, there's a place you can cook.
Somerset sits right on the border of Washington, D.C., and over the years it's been able to keep that sense of community in an ever-changing environment, which is why Donna Harmon says she's staying.
This is where my roots are, so they will take me out feet first.
Well, that wraps up this edition of Neighborhood Niches. If you'd like us to profile your neighborhood, send us an email at neighborhoodniches@gmail.com. For Count and Cable Montgomery, I'm Susan Kennedy. Thanks for watching.